Important sections of the Indian Penal Code. These are very important for some inspector exam, for your legal exams like CLAT, AILET, DULLB, etc. Before I even begin the video, it's a good idea to focus on what is the difference between Indian Penal Code and Criminal Procedure Code (CRPC). So IPC versus CRPC, what is the difference? So Indian Penal Code, it is a substantive law. It defines various crimes. So for example, what is the difference between assault and harassment? What is rape? What is murder? All these are properly defined by law in the Indian Penal Code. And if once a person is convicted, then what will be the quantum of punishment? What will be the fine? What is the maximum punishment? What is the minimum punishment? If the punishment will also have an element of fine. All these are mentioned in the Indian Penal Code. But the Criminal Procedure Code, as the name says, procedure. What is the course of law? What is the investigation? How the FIR will be filed. What will be the route of investigation? In how much time the investigation needs to be completed? What is the procedure of investigation? All that is mentioned in the Criminal Procedure Code. So Indian Penal Code is like the reference. It mentions it defines a crime or an offense and the maximum and minimum punishment for the same, and also whether a particular crime it will be taken to which court. All these are mentioned in the Indian Penal Code, whereas Criminal Procedure Code merely laid down the entire procedure. Now let's take a look at some of the important sections of the Indian Penal Code in this video. For Criminal Procedure Code, I will make a separate video. First is section 307. It is attempt to murder. Now attempt to murder means when you try to kill someone but you fail to do so. So then the person will be tried under section 307. Now it is important in the exams that you should know the difference between all the things, various different cases. For example, we have a section 300 and then we have a section 302 and then we have a section 307. Also don't confuse section with article. These are all sections. These are not articles, right? So what is 300? 300 is murder. Whereas if the murder is established, that is the person needs to be convicted, then he will be convicted as per section 302. So 302 is for punishment of murder. Is it clear? And 307 is for attempt to murder. So there are very fine differences between the two. 300 is for murder. It defines what is a murder, whereas 302 is punishment for murder and 307 is attempt to murder. So always read the question carefully. Section 302 is punishment for murder, as I said, and if the person actually succeeds in killing someone, then he will be tried. Punishment for murder is section 302. Then we have section 304A, which is causing death by negligence. What does it mean? So for example, we saw recently that in one of the hospitals of India, lot of infants died because of lack of oxygen. Now the person who was responsible for making sure that the oxygen cylinders are there, he can be tried for section 304. That is, he has caused death of others, but not by intent, but by negligence. So this is 304A. Then 376, it is punishment for rape, is under section 376. A person who is accused of raping a woman is lodged under section 376 of the IPC. Section 395 is dacoity. Now what is the difference between a journal theft and a dacoity? For dacoity, the number of people has to be more than 4. So minimum 5 people have to be there for dacoity. When 4 or less than 4 people are involved, then we have section 392, which is robbery. Punishment for robbery is imposed. But if the number of people is more than 4, that is minimum 5, then they are called dacoits. That is the difference between a robbery and a dacoity. Then we have section 377, which is unnatural offense. Like for example, if you have an intercourse against the order of nature with any man, woman, or animal even, then it is section 377, which is unnatural offense. Then next is section 396, which is dacoity and murder both. So if 5 or more people, they are involved in a dacoity and in a robbery, and they also commit murder, then they will be tried under section 396. Then we have section 365, which is kidnapping or abducting someone. See, there is a difference between kidnapping and abducting. It's a small difference. Kidnapping, as you can see, it is for minors, and since these are minors, then their consent is not valid in this case because they are not competent enough to give their consent. Whereas abducting is usually said for a adult. You can say all kidnappings are abductions, but all abductions are not kidnapping. So there's a fine difference. So if you try to kidnap someone or abduct someone with your intent secretly and wrongfully to confine that person's mobility, then it is section 365. Section 201 is when you try to protect someone, when you try to screen an offender, protect a person by giving false information, or when you try to destroy the evidence, you cause disappearance of evidence or of offense, then you will be tried in section 201. Section 34. Section 34 is if an act is done by several persons to further their common intention. So when a criminal act is done by several persons in furtherance of the common intention of all the people, then each of such persons is liable for the act in the same manner as if were done by him alone. So never try to be complicit in any wrongdoing, because section 34 clearly defines that if an act is done by several persons with a common intention, then all will be tried. Section 141, it defines unlawful assembly. Unlawful assembly, that is, by declaring an assemblage of more than 5 people, more than 5, for any purpose specified in this section. And remember that they don't have to commit anything separate than just by being assembling at a place. The very fact that they are getting assembled at one place is an offense in itself. So this is unlawful assembly. Now there is a very important section 144 which is often in news. So what is the difference between 141 and 144? So 144 is joining an unlawful assembly which is armed with deadly weapon. So whoever is armed with any deadly weapon or with anything which can be used as a weapon of offense which can likely cause a death is a member of the unlawful assembly, and such a person shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 2 years, or with fine, or with both. Section 412 is when you dishonestly receive property, and that property has been somebody has got that property stolen as an act of a dacoity. So dishonestly receiving property that is stolen in the commission of a dacoity, you will be tried in section 412. Then this is one of the most important and most common questions. Theft is under section 378. So theft means when you dishonestly try to take a property of someone without that person's consent, that comes under theft. Then giving false evidence, again this is very, very important, section 191. So when you are legally bound by oath to speak the truth, or under affidavit, or when the law requires you to make a declaration and you speak false, then that is giving false evidence. Section 309 is attempt to suicide. Attempt to suicide is section 309. Now let's take a look at a person who is called as a thug, and the section is 310. So whoever is habitually associated with any other or others for the purpose of committing robbery or child stealing by means of or accompanied with murder is a thug. That is section 310. Now if you cause miscarriage which is not in the best interest or welfare of the woman, then you are punishable under section 312. It is causing miscarriage. When someone voluntarily causes a woman with child to miscarry, if such miscarriage be not caused in good faith or for the purpose of the benefit of the woman, be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years, or with fine, or with both. Section 351 is assault. Now just remember, we'll not go into detail because it's a very big section, but just remember assault is defined by section 351. Section 354 is outraging the modesty of a woman. So trying to insult a woman by outraging her modesty through assault or criminal force. Section 362 is abduction. In one word, if I have to define, abduction is section 362. And section 415 is cheating. Cheating is section 415. Please note that the punishment under cheating is section 417, but cheating is defined by section 415. Then if you try to break into someone's house, you will be tried under section 445. It is housebreaking. Section 494 is marrying again during lifetime of husband or wife. If you are already married and then you remarry, then section 494 will catch you. Section 420. Now cheating is 415. It is a punishment. Its punishment is 417, but there is also cheating under 420, which basically means that you try to try to convince someone to transfer the property, transfer his or her property to some other person by cheating, that is 420. So it's more related to cheating, transfer of property. Section 499 is defamation, when you try to defame somebody. Section 511, it means punishment for attempting to commit the offense is punishable with imprisonment for life or other imprisonment. So basically, when you try to commit a crime which is punishable with imprisonment for life or any other imprisonment, then you will be tried with section 511. Section 24 defines dishonesty. What is dishonesty? Section 40 is for offense. It describes offense, and these are important sections 54 and 55 because these are related to commutation. So commutation of the sentence of death is section 54. So you can escape death if your sentence is commuted. Similarly, you can escape imprisonment for life, and it will be made less severe by commutation. That is section 55. Section 55A defines what is the definition of an appropriate government. Section 63 is the amount of fine. So here no sum is expressed to which a fine may extend. The amount of fine to which the offender is liable is unlimited but shall not be excessive. So it will be proportionate to the crime committed. Section 64 is sentence of imprisonment for non-payment of fine. If you say that I'm not able to pay the fine, then section 64 will extend your imprisonment for the same, if at all. Then section 82 is act of a child under 7 years of age. So if any child commits an offense, it is not technically called an offense. So the definition is nothing is an offense which is done by a child under 7 years of age. And similarly, section 83 also protects young children. So act of a child above 7 and under 12 is said to be act of immature understanding, and therefore it is not an offense. Section 120A and 120B, they deal with criminal conspiracy. So definition of criminal conspiracy is established by section 120A, whereas the punishment of criminal conspiracy is defined by section 120B. Section 124A is sedition, betraying of, when betray to your country or government, anti-establishment. So whoever by words, either spoken or written, or by signs or by visible representation, attempts to excite disaffection towards the government established by law in India shall be punished with imprisonment for life, to which fine may also be added. Section 146 is rioting. Riots, you know what riots are. Section 147 defines the punishment for rioting. Now there's a difference between riot and affray. So when two or more people, by fighting in a public place, they disturb the public order, public peace, they are said to commit an affray. So that is section 159, and the punishment for affray is under section 160. Let's quickly take a look at 3 or 4 more. Section 171B is for bribery. So this is very important for corruption. Section 212 is harboring an offender. If you give someone refuge in your home or something, and he's a criminal, he's an offender, then you will be tried for section 212. Dowry, death is related with 3404B, but remember section 498A, this is the most commonly asked question. This is for dowry. Section 498, it is misused quite a lot. So section 306, it is abetment of suicide. When you try to motivate someone to do suicide, that is called abetment of suicide. Section 313 is causing the miscarriage without woman's consent. 313. Section 349 defines the use of force. 359 is for kidnapping. 362 is for abduction. 364 is when you kidnap someone for demanding money, that is ransom. Section 300, as I said already, is for murder, but punishment for murder is 302 section. Section 383 is extortion, 390 is robbery, and 391 is dacoity. A few more. So 197, it has been asked a lot of times. It is when you issue false certificates. It can be for any post or exam or anything. Section 197. Section 192 is when you fabricate false evidence. Section 230 defines what is exactly a coin. So any piece of metal is not a coin. So what is a coin is defined by section 230. And culpable homicide, this is also asked in exams a lot. It is section 299. So these were the important, very, very important sections of the Indian Penal Code. That is a must if you're preparing for any exam. If you like the video, give a thumbs up and share with your friends. Now, before I turn off the video, you need to tell me, if you have seen this video nicely, then tell me what is the section for theft. Write down in comments. Thank you very much.